Spring Valley, how are you doing? My name is Jeff Bogan, and I am the principal of Maple Street Magnet School for the Arts here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I am also the pastor of Way of Life Family Christian Center. And let me begin by saying thank you to Mrs. Whitley for inviting me to be one of your guest readers. And not only inviting me, just her role in organizing this. And this is a wonderful activity. And also thanks to your Principal Dewey, for allowing Mrs. Whitley and any other staff that has been involved in this, just to allow this to happen. This is really good stuff. And so again, my name is Jeff Bogan, principal of Maple Street Magnet School for the Arts, and in the community, pastor of Way of Life Family Christian Center. And so what I would say in terms of both of my roles, the way that I would describe both of my roles as a principal and as a pastor, I am a servant leader in both arenas that builds up leaders by way of love and sound instruction. And so I do that in both arenas that I serve in. And so today I'm going to be reading to you from this wonderful book, Black Heroes, 51 Inspiring People from Ancient Africa to Modern-Day U.S.A. And the hero that I'm going to be reading about is William Cuffay. William Cuffay. All right, here we go. William Cuffay was a politician and political activist. He was one of the leaders of the Chartist movement and a champion for workers' rights in Britain. William Cuffay, the son of a formerly enslaved man and an English woman, was born in 1788 in Chitham, Kent, where his father worked as a cook on a warship. William was trained to be a tailor, but he also took interest in politics. His political life began in 1834, when he and fellow workers organized a strike in support of tailors who were forced to work long hours for low wages. Because he protested, he lost his job and could not find work anywhere. William eventually joined the People's Charter movement. This was a political reform movement in Britain that had 6 demands, including that all men should have the right to vote and that members of the parliament should not have to be property owners. William became determined to fight for equality in British society. Before long, William became one of the leaders of a movement called Chartism, which took its name from the People's Charter. This was one of the largest political movements of the working class in Britain. Its main purpose was to bargain for better working conditions and treatment for employees. William was one of the only black men in his party, and he played a major role in the organization's growth. William was one of 3 men who planned an uprising against the government. However, the plans were leaked to the authorities, so the uprising never took place. William was arrested, charged, convicted, and sentenced to 21 years in Tasmania, and an island south of Australia. However, William's sentence did not stop him. When political prisoners were pardoned and allowed to leave Tasmania, William stayed. He worked as a tailor and continued his involvement in radical politics until he passed away in 1870. People today are still inspired by his commitment to supporting workers' rights. William Cuffay. So before I get out of here, what I would like to share with you is that reading is so important. When I remember being a student, I'm born and raised in Battle Creek, Michigan, and as an elementary student, just like your staff are doing with you, my teachers always inspired us to read. We didn't have the technology back then, but they were always, giving us books to read, talking to us about heroes in our African American history. And so, what I want you to do is always take the time, to read the things that your teachers are recommending. But also, read some things that, read about some people that you are interested in as it pertains to Black history. Because reading will inspire you, it will help you with your dreams, it will also help you with your goals. And I think it's also important to know, even at an early age, you may be a first grader, you may be a fifth grader, but it's very, very important to know that you are standing on the shoulders of our forefathers and foremothers that have paved the way for us. I'm reminded of a gentleman who he passed away some years ago, but a good friend and mentor of mine, James Cunningham. He lived in Lansing, and he worked for an organization that I worked for. And when it took him 20 plus years to become an administrator in this particular organization, and it only took me, say about a little over a year. And he hired me after I had been in the organization for about a year or so to be an administrator in his department. And so what took him 20 plus years only took me a little over a year, because of the work that he had done as a Black man in that organization. He had paved the way for me, all right? And so I just think it's so important to know that there have been men and women in our Black history that have paved the way for us, and we are standing on their shoulders, and we are able to do the work that we do right now because of what they have done for us. And so again, I just want to encourage you as a first grader, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever grade you're in, read books, read about Black history, because it will inspire you and help you to keep dreaming. That's all I have for you. It has been a pleasure being with you today. Again, thank you, Mrs. Whitley, and thank you, Principal Dewey.